Welcome, my name is Stephen Daughtton, and I want to talk to you about some amazing stories to do with places that you know. This is Tale House. Today I want to talk to you about the witches of Camden. Yes, witches, that's right. They have inspired two pubs that have been at the end of Camden High Street here in various formats for over 300 years. Bram Stoker, author of Dracula himself, investigated these women. On this side of the road we have the Mother Red Cap, and over there we have the Black Cap. Let's go find out about them. This is the Mother Red Cap, now called the World's End and inspired by a woman called Ginny Bingham from just up the road in Kentish Town. She developed a very unfortunate habit of losing her husbands. Number one, Gypsy George, married at 16 and executed for stealing sheep in Holloway. Fields in Holloway, I know! Number two, a drunkard by the name of Darby, who simply disappeared one night. They were known to argue, and rumour had it that Ginny and her mother had poisoned him. But nothing could be proved, no body was found, and nobody would know. Then, to make things worse, her mother and her father were executed for witchcraft, apparently involved in the death of a young girl. Suspicion naturally fell on her. This is the Black Cap, on the opposite side of the road to the Red Cap. And this is named after Old Mother Shipton, an altogether very different kind of witch. She was around 150 years before Ginny Bingham in the late 1400s. And what you have to remember about this period is it's the end of the Wars of the Roses, a period of turbulence. Henry VII is the new king, but no one is sure if he's going to remain king and how stable things are. So people came to her for some sort of comfort, some sort of consultation, and thought of her much more positively. Then things get a whole lot worse for Ginny. Husband number three, a man called Pitcher, she hooks up with. He is found burnt to a crisp inside an oven, but she's not to blame. Witnesses claim that he used to go in there to hide from her severe tongue lashings. Husband number four, a man who's nameless, is found poisoned. But again, Ginny escapes any punishment because there is no proof that it was her who poisoned him. People don't want anything to do with her, and she lives out the rest of her days alone, except for acquiring the company of a black cat. After not seeing her for many years, people break into her house and they find her stiff as a board, dead in her chair in front of the fire. The bones so hard that they had to break them to put her in her grave. Old Mother Shipton was a prognosticator. That meant that she would foretell what was going to happen. Now, people would come and see her individually because they wanted to know what was going to happen to them, but she also predicted some of the greatest events that were yet to happen in British history. She predicted the Reformation, she predicted the Spanish Armada, she predicted the Great Fire of London, and Samuel Pepys records in his diary after the Fire of London that he overheard the royal family talking about Old Mother Shipton's predictions and what did it mean would happen next, because she was most famous for predicting when the world would end. She said the world would end when Hampstead Heath was encased by London. But, happily for us, she gave a date, and that was 1881. But is it really true? You see, in the middle of the 1500s, licensing laws came in for the first time, and places were required to identify themselves if they were selling alcohol. Initially, it was a wooden stake outside the property. This soon developed into the modern swingboard with symbols on them, the most popular being a painted red hand. The second most popular was a red cap. And this is where the variations of names come from. The old red cap, the Mother Red Cap, the red cap. There's probably about 100 pubs called this in variations around the country. So, Ginny may well have existed, but she probably had very little to do with this place. And as for the Black Cap at Old Mother Shipton, she didn't even live here. She lived here, in a cave in Knaresborough, North Yorkshire, like a proper witch. People used to come here to get their fortune told. She never left the area, and they'd been paying to visit this place since 1630, making it the oldest fee-paying tourist attraction in England. Ah! Right opposite the cave, there's this petrifying well. That means it turns things to stone. Now that's magic. John Wayne even left a hat here. But they say Old Mother Shipton still haunts the place. First I was afraid, and now I'm petrified. Let's go! But there's something I forgot to tell you. After Mother Red Cap died, 100 people came forward to testify that they had seen the devil, no less, going into her house and never coming out. Fitting then that today, this pub is called the World's End. Downstairs they have a nightclub called the Underworld, and what goes on down there, the devil only knows.